Onyonka Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to actually reiterate what my colleague, Senator from Senator Mandago, what he has been raising, the issue he has raised. Mr. Speaker, if you remember in 2000, I think 8 or 9, during that time I was at the National Assembly with you. And you remember when cabinet ministers, even Honorable Boni Halwale was there, and I remember Honorable Mungatana was there. Mr. Speaker, anybody who assumes that when a cabinet minister comes to make a presentation on a national matter, that maybe that minister could be wasting his time, or we who are going to listen to the contributions and discussions are actually wasting our time, is wrong. Mr. Speaker, the first thing is that the Kenyan public is interested in listening and hearing how the ministers are going to articulate government policy. Then they will be answering those questions which are critical, because running a country, Mr. Speaker, frequent times you'll have crises, you'll have matters pertaining to emergencies and all that. And then sometimes, Mr. Speaker, that is the reason I wish many of the cabinet members in the KK government would understand that them coming and answering this question, first, they continue with the historical precedent. And number two, the public is very curious and always constantly listening to what we say and what we articulate in terms of trying to solve the issues that affect our country. Mr. Speaker, I really hope that the CSS will take this House seriously, that they will in fact be, if need be, I plead that with my leader, Honorable Cherargei, and the whip, Honorable Halwale, to make a phone call to the president and tell him his ministers are misbehaving. They are letting your government down. Because we come here not because, Mr. Speaker, we are on holiday. We are dealing with matters of national importance. And when a cabinet minister comes, like the other day when Honorable Rinturi came, Mr. Minister, I was very happy because you could see he's seized of the matters, he's discussing these matters intelligently, he's coming in with some solutions. That's what we are looking for in our country, Mr. Speaker. We are not looking for drama and things which are irrelevant. And that's why I'm really pleading with the CSS and the state officers who are being asked to come and attend these meetings. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you look at our committees, the CS Finance, the Controller Budget, the Auditor General, they are always coming. When we ask them to come, they come. And their record is extremely good. Why is it that the cabinet members of His Excellency William Ruto's government abdicating their responsibility? And Mr. Speaker, I also want to plead through you and my colleagues who have access to His Excellency the President, tell him that many of these ministers are actually just randa-randaing, doing nothing. They are going on trips. Let them leave those things. Kenya has issues. Let them settle down on the ground. Let them intervene. Let them come to our counties. Mr. Speaker, I have not seen a single CS in Kisii since I became a senator, except Moses Kuria. And yet, previously, the CSS need to move around the country. They need to come and see what is going on.
What is the point of order, Senator Munyihaji?
He's my brother, Senator Onyonka, from the great county of Kisii. In order to say that he has never seen any CS in Kisii, yet CS Machoge comes from Kisii.
Mr. Speaker, I actually wanted to re-emphasize the point. I have actually not even seen Honorable Machogu. Yes, he's in Meru, he's in Murang'a, Tharaka Nithi, he's going to Kwale, and it's the responsibility of the office. With Honorable Machogu, I wouldn't even raise a query about it for the simple reason that he's running all over, and I see what he's doing in terms of going to the different ministries, different schools and different institutions. I think the portfolio, that is a ministry, my leader, Mr. Speaker, that I would have wished that it had a deputy minister. because the Minister of Education is too busy. The minister is all over the place. I don't think he's really having his hands on the cake, as they say. But that is a discussion for the other day. I would like to finish, Mr. Speaker, by saying that let the cabinet ministers in the government today realize that they need to do much more, that our expectations are much more, that we know many of them are qualified and many of them can do a good job. But we also know that others are very lazy, Mr. Speaker. So I would like to reiterate what Honorable Mandago has said. That fine that Honorable Sosi has brought, we need to make an amendment. Let's change that thing to 5 million, Honorable Halwale, so that it acts as a deterrence. So that even if, Mr. Speaker, if a minister and a CS knows that he's not going to be around and he has gone for official duty, it is automatic. He should write a letter which is acceptable, because we are not idiots. We know that the cabinet minister is traveled somewhere on official business, and it is important that we empathize on that. But this narrative where people just assume that, I hear this, Honorable Halwale, Mr. Speaker, frequently. Oh, the Senate is nyumba ya wazee, hakuna kitu mnafanya, there's nothing you do there. No, this house is serious. And let these ministers realize we'll be very serious with them. Because other than them giving an apology, we are going to start fining people, we are going to start censoring people, and you know many of them, Mr. Speaker, don't know that under Chapter 6, if somebody comes here and we censor them and ask and say that they cannot hold public office, there's nothing they'll do. The president is the only one who's going to sympathize with them. But if the president realizes that this guy is lazy, why would he save him? He just fires him, brings another one who can perform. With those very few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support and let this House be treated with respect and decorum. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, he's already concluded and taken his seat, Senator Kathuri. Honorable Senators, let us end this matter. He's already yielded, so the information certainly is. So, Honorable Senators, I have had your compelling contributions as far as the failure of CSS to attend Senate session for purposes of responding to questions. Now, these compelling contributions that you've made, they would have been relevant if they're made within the context of a motion of censure. In the absence of a motion of censure, what honorable senators are doing is merely to lament. We cannot be reduced to a house of lamentations. This is not the first senators are lamenting. This may not be the last senators will lament. You need to stop lamenting and take it to the next level. And honorable senators, the next course of action is provided for on our own standing orders. If you read Standing Order 51D, it gives the option available to this House where the House feels that a CS has abstained themselves without reasonable cause. Otherwise, for how long are you going to vent your frustrations like you've done today? We have taken 2.5 hours venting our frustrations, our pain, our disgust, our disappointment. Next week on Tuesday, if CSS don't appear, we'll continue playing the tape. The other following Tuesday, if they don't appear, you will continue playing the tape. Honorable senators, that must stop. You have the sword. The sword is not with the speaker. You have the sword under Standing Order 51D. You can elect to continue lamenting, or you can draw the sword and strike.